It's the Great Canadian Podcast with Dave and Charlotte.
Podcast.
I didn't want to be the one to break the ice.
I was wondering if you were going to do it.
No, maybe next time.
As you recall, I broke the ice last time.
I know. It's because I get nervous. I just follow your lead. I also was very impressed because we were just listening to that intro music as we were sitting here. But when we do those short little interludes in the middle, or last time when we did them, Dave always knew when to come in at the end. Did you know how long it was? Is that how you knew exactly how long it would take for that
Charlotte,
to ramp up and them to go?
You're ruining my radio magic here.
Well, it was magic to me. I was like, how does he know how to do this? And like the first one, I'm like, okay, lucky. And then I thought, oh, he's not leaving enough time. But then when I listened back to it on my iPod, I'm like, it was perfect.
Honestly, no, I fixed it after the fact.
Huh, you're good.
Thank you.
You're good. Yeah. Yes. You have degrees in this.
And I just spoke in a way that I knew that when I mixed that extra thing in, that it would sound good. That's what they trained me to do, Charlotte. This is my trained voice. Hello, listeners, and a lovely Monday it is. Snow's falling.
And then I just come in
Merriment
with my
in the air.
shrill, idiotic blather. Oh, God.
That's why we make a good combo.
Yeah.
You know, we're kind of like Penn and Teller, and
Yeah.
I'm all of their good qualities. And
I'm all of the blunder and...
don't ask me why Penn and Teller was the first combo I thought of. Charlotte, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm quite well.
Once again, we don't have our full screen video up. I also realized as I was listening to our previous podcast that we started talking about the Fireplace channel without telling people we were listening to a video. And so we were like, oh yeah, it makes the room warm. And we were like, yeah, it's a placebo effect.
Oh, God.
They're probably like, yeah, it's a fireplace, you dumb.
As soon as we add these sounds back in, this is the podcast during which you will pee like 10 times.
If we can get the sounds put in.
We can.
We can? I thought we couldn't.
We'll get it.
Okay.
We just couldn't when we tried the first time. But
Okay. So this time, we have a virtual aquarium.
soothing sounds. I think we're going to make this a recurring theme in the Charlotte and the Great Canadian Podcast.
Yeah.
Is that we're going to have some sort of video playing in the background, and that because we don't have a lot to say. Mm-hmm. We don't know what we're talking about, so now we can talk about the video and all these lovely fish swim by.
But how many videos do you think there are out there? Like, we got Fireplace, we got Aquarium. What else do we have?
This is when we ask the listeners, greatcanadianpod, gmail.com.
Yep.
So we're looking for like ambient, atmospheric sort of YouTube videos you put on in the background sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's got to, aquarium, fireplace,
I think you nailed all of them.
maybe like landscape, maybe like Grand Canyon. You know
With
what
birds flying by, maybe.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so actually this hasn't happened in a long time. I should knock on wood. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but we did knock on wood.
Knocked on wood.
Fake wood, maybe. But my my current neighbor in Edmonton, he or she, I assume it's a him when I'm angry at him, would listen to TV just loud enough that I could hear sort of a little bit, like not enough that I could hear what was being said or what they were watching, but I could tell the TV was on. I could hear kind of like, and it like I could not sleep. It drove me up the wall, and I would be so angry, but I didn't want to bang on the wall because like I go to bed pretty early. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, and you don't want to be the wall banger.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
face it, that's not...
You know what? At like 2 a.m., like I will pound on that wall to be like, shut the hell up. But
Sure.
not at
There's a
9,
cutoff time
9:30.
for wall banging. Yeah.
Yeah.
What time was that, Charlotte?
I don't. So I get tired. So I set my alarm for 5 or 5:30 most mornings.
Yeah.
Mostly because I like to get up slowly. I like to have an hour. An hour's my ideal time to shower, have a coffee, do makeup, hair, that sort of thing. Play with Izzy, you know.
I accept. Well, I think this is kind of a guy thing, right? I don't have to do anything when I wake up. I just kind of mess the old hair up, throw on some clothes, deodorant, boom, out the door.
And girls all over the world shake their heads. We are not amused. Yeah. Anyways, so I would put on, this is where I'm going with this, on my tablet, a fan video because I don't really have anything. I don't have like a dehumidifier or a humidifier or a fan or anything like that in my apartment.
You're being serious right now.
So I put on a video that's a 3-hour oscillating fan.
That
'Cause
would cool you off?
No, to block out the guy's sound.
Oh, to block out the sound. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I guess a placebo probably would have cooled me off. Nah, maybe not. But just to block out the sound of this guy's TV.
And it worked.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's very handy.
Oscillating fans, people. It's a
But
thing.
that's not great to have on the background of the podcast.
I was thinking about that. The Oscillating Fan podcast. No, we can do. There's all kinds of stuff we can do. There's probably a lot of cool time lapse videos that we can watch. But like, it'll not like all this stuff happening in 10 minutes. There's got to be like stuff that takes like, I don't know, years. Are there time lapse videos taking over years that they can compress into like a couple hours?
I know that they've had ones of like seasons, like on
Sure.
Planet Earth. Is that DVD set where they would
Yeah.
show and they show a flower or a tree over all the seasons or something?
Charlotte and Dave will be doing their research. And
Yeah.
we're gonna find. But if you know of any cool stuff that we can have on in the background here, and we'll give you an honorable mention. You know what I mean? Give us like an alias that you'd like us to refer to you as. We'll be like, this comes to us from Doctor Who in Edmonton,
Yeah, or your real name.
or your real name, if you want that. Yeah.
Yeah, do that. And we'll follow up. Speaking of follow up,
Excellent, Segu.
that was terrible. So I was just listening to the podcast and writing down things because I'm a professional. Things that we needed to follow up on. From last
Quarterbacks
week.
watch the game tape.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
No, if anyone's the quarterback here, it's you. I'm the idiot.
Yeah, but that's why I get you to watch the game tape. Quarterbacks have lackeys.
I see. I was gonna say I can be like the linebacker that just kind of goes, whatever, like hits people. All right, so I talked about a song that Katy Perry had written but not performed.
Right.
It was Black Widow by Iggy Azalea.
Black
featuring,
Widow, baby.
Yeah, I'm a Black Widow baby. Featuring Rita Ora. That's a pretty good song. In my head, it was a better song. I mean, not that that's like not a good song. That's a very catchy song, and I enjoy it. But I thought it was more of like a lyrically intelligent song.
Right.
Because I'm assuming Iggy Azalea wrote a lot of the rap to that song.
I would think she wrote all of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Anywho,
Maybe
yeah,
Katie
no
gives her
idea.
like a... Well, I'm sure she gives her a theme. Write something about a Black Widow.
Yeah, insert rap here.
All right, did...
Did we talk? I don't think we talked about this in the last podcast. Something musical that really upsets me is when a song gets played on the radio that has a rap in it and they take the rap out. So my current example is Bang Bang. Is that what it's called? Bang
right,
Bang.
you mentioned this. Yes, Bang Bang. Ariana, Jesse, and Nikki.
And to me, by far the best part of that song is when Nicki Minaj comes in.
Obviously, I disagree, because
Yeah.
the best part is bang, bang into the room. I know you want it.
My favorite part is B to the A to the N to the G to the hey. That part. I love the hey.
It is a fun song. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know what it reminds me of. It's just, it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Big vocal, you know? It seems very epic.
But you cut out the Nicki Minaj rap, and there's even it's like it was supposed to be a rap because you can hear them like doing kind of the background singing in that part.
Yeah.
So what's the reason behind that for the radio to cut out Nicki Minaj? Like it's almost as if they went through and cut out her voice, which obviously they didn't. They must have had the track sent to them like that.
Oh, yeah.
But what's the deal?
I think a lot of studios these days they'll release clean versions. Like at my at my work, we'll get clean versions like that.
So they just cut out all of poor Nicki's part.
Well, I mean, it's that way you get it played on much, like you get a lot more airplay because you not only get when you can play like the quote unquote vulgar stuff, but you can play it during the day when kids and whoever else might be listening, right? So I think that's the tactic there. Although I do agree, it makes it less of a song. Like it's just not the fully intended product, You're getting kind of a half song.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean,
Yeah.
that's why it's nice to just have that on your iPod, and that way you can get Nicki whenever you want.
Yeah. Here's a question. What do you think of Bruno Mars' new song?
Well, I like it.
What's it called again?
Uptown Funk.
Yeah.
Mark Ronson.
Uptown, funk you up. Sit uptown, funk you up.
I think it's fun.
I like it. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I crank it when it comes on.
I'm the thing is, like, I've never been a big fan of like over the top funk anyways. Like, don't get me wrong, big fan of the funk. But the I don't know, like the jungle funk, And kind
Yeah,
of the big,
yeah.
oh, freak out. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
that freak out's kind of a good
Yeah.
song, but the play that funky music, White Boy, and that kind of,
I hear you.
that stuff I don't like as much. I like kind of the subtle funk. Mm-hmm, you know what I mean? A little more pulled back.
Or I would call it dirty funk, 'cause the kind of funk I really like.
Dirty
that is
funk?
just-
Yeah, we can go with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's still a good song. I
It's
think.
still a good song. Yeah, it's a fun tune. It's it reminds me of not that I listened to a lot of Morris Day in the time, but I just saw them in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back because they're Jay and Bob's favorite band, and that's fun stuff. You know, like it's a completely insane, over the top, whatever.
Just in case people think I'm nodding along like I know what he's talking about, I am nodding along, but I do not know the band that he's talking about. I don't want people to think I'm like, Morris Day. What was it? Morris Day in
Morris Day in the time.
the time?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
On a side note, let's look this up for next week.
Uh-huh.
Who is Mark Ronson, and why don't they just call it a Bruno Mars song? I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a great reason for that, and I have
Who
no
is
idea.
Mark Ronson?
I have no idea.
We have no
No idea.
I've heard that name before.
He
Is
had.
he a DJ?
I looked at work. He has. I work at a music company, by the way. That's why I'm looking up all these songs. Mark Ronson has one other song out.
With Amy Winehouse? Is
Really?
that why this name sounds familiar?
Maybe. I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, we'll look it up. We'll look it up.
We'll look it up. If there's an Amy Winehouse track I haven't found, I'm excited because I like me some Amy Winehouse.
And 3 points for me, if that's correct.
3 points for Charlotte. All right, so Charlotte's pointage coming to you in the future.
Yeah, it would be 3-0 for those keeping track. That was my little sultry
Yeah,
radio voice.
as long as that was good.
Yeah, thank you.
Leaned in a little bit.
Yeah.
And like as in this scoring system, I'd be interested to know kind of how you qualify for points in this.
It's unimportant.
Apparently.
The point system is fluid, like the podcast.
And we have another note here about
Yep.
Taylor Swift's songwriting.
Looked it up because if you recall, Dave and I were talking about Taylor Swift and how I love Taylor Swift and how I thought she writes good songs. And Dave said, or her team does. And I said, I thought she wrote a lot. I don't know if we want to give me points for this because I wasn't adamant about it. I looked up the songwriting credits on 1989.
Okay,
So this is according to Wikipedia, though, which I feel like it's pretty legit.
I think so.
She had the first credit in the list of writing credits on every single song on that album.
Really?
And on one song, she was solo. On some songs, she was, there were two. The other writers on that song, just to give them credit, Max Martin and Shellback, who apparently only has one name, like Madonna.
I wonder if that's a Mario reference. Shellback.
Maybe.
I wonder if that's why he calls himself that.
Or she.
As a music guy, I should really know who Max Martin and Shellback are, but I don't.
Should you?
Well, I mean, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
They've probably written a bunch of other awesome stuff. Okay, Charlotte.
Yeah.
So how about we give you, I don't know, take 15 points in this completely arbitrary system you've concocted.
Let's not be crazy. I think if I'm getting 3 points for the, what was he getting 3 points for? Oh yeah, the micro. No, I don't have.
Don't
I
ask
don't
me.
have those 3 points. Those are 3 optional points.
Right.
3 potential points.
Potential points.
But I think if I got 3 points for that, because that's pretty obscure, I get 1 point for this Taylor Swift thing. It's 4-0.
I won't pretend to understand this system.
Write that down. Someone's got to write that down. We're not going to remember this.
Give us an email at Great Canadian Pod with like a tally of the scores like a month from now,
Yeah.
and we'll send you a shirt.
Yeah.
Great Canadian Pod shirt.
We don't have shirts, guys, just before you get excited.
Why do you gotta ruin the radio magic?
Because then we have to make shirts. I'm stressed already.
We'd have to
thinking
make
about
one
it.
shirt.
Yeah, that's true.
One shirt.
You guys would just get a shirt. A shirt that we don't want anymore. One of us doesn't want anymore.
Speaking of shirts,
Oh, yeah.
what band did we hype last week?
Dave's rocking a really nice Wolfpack t-shirt.
Wolfpack shirt. And it's American Apparel too.
Get out.
Well done, Wolfpack.
That's comfy.
Super comfy.
Every time I've ordered clothing for like kin, I was always on kin grad councils and stuff like that, and the American Apparel was always a top selection because they're very comfortable.
Very comfortable. Very soft.
So Dave, let's how's life been? What'd you think of Christmas? How was Christmas?
Christmas was lovely.
Yeah?
I saw a lot of people that I love, people that I enjoy.
He's talking about me
Shouldn't have.
and our family.
And the dog, and cats and the horses.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Relaxed a lot, but saw everybody, did everything I wanted to do, and
That's a tough balance.
I missed a frisbee golf game. Mind you, this wasn't when I was hanging out with the family. This was when I had to work yesterday. I play frisbee golf, people. Disc golf. as it's called, when you've reached a certain familiarity with it.
A level of snobbery.
And I missed a round where my buddy fell into the river. There's a river beside one of the holes, and my friend fell in. And I'm always there for Frisbee golf games, and this is the one I missed. I am just beside myself. I can't.
I'm honestly pretty beside myself that I missed that, because
There's
I
no
really
film
enjoy
either.
this friend, and I think he would understand this. I would have loved to seen him fall into the river. That would have been amazing. I think that would have been an everlasting memory.
I can show you the video of him. There's one of him like a month or two ago wading into the river to get his Frisbee.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And then I could use my imagination to imagine him falling. Getting in there by
Yeah.
accident. Yeah.
You can extrapolate from
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's snowing.
It's snowing! It's snowing! It's snowing!
Charlotte's happy right now. I'm maintaining a neutral face.
You know what I just realized? At least I think we've both done it now. When we talk to the people, we look at the microphone. And when we talk to each other, we look at each other.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sometimes we look at the aquarium, which is surprisingly uninteresting.
Hey, there's a crab down there.
Yeah. That's what I'd say the only interesting thing is. I hope he goes away sometimes and then comes back. We'll give you guys the link too in case you want to watch this kind of boring video.
Look at him just grabbing at stuff.
If he grabbed one of the fish, that would be a good video.
That'd be cool. Does he grab fish though, or does he use that to defend himself?
Look, watch. Oh, there's a fish right over top. See, I don't even think that's realistic. I think you would have hit that fish just now if this had been real life.
I don't know. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Look at that little guy just scuttling around.
You know, no, that fish just like went through him.
Is this real or is this CG? I gotta tell you, this looks a lot
no.
like CG.
Yeah, it's CG for sure. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if this was a real crab, he'd be dummying guys right now.
Yeah.
What I also
I think
will
the fish
say,
would have swum away too.
yeah. This also leaves us open though for another aquarium day, because we can find a better aquarium channel.
We should watch a shark aquarium.
Yeah. Actually, there's one that I found that it was a legit aquarium, like I think like the Georgia Aquarium or something like that. And you would just watch the aquarium.
Really? That's awesome. Yeah, live feeds.
Yeah, but it had music in the background. But we'll just mute it, because right now we can hear the bubbles, which is nice.
Yeah, it is
the
nice.
music kind of going.
And I don't even have to pee yet.
No, me neither. I am drinking a coffee though.
You're gonna have to.
I'm gonna have to pee.
Whoa.
So, how do we transition from it snowing to this? It's snowing though, guys. I will not claim credit for this though. It's just snowing. This was all nature. And in case you're not living in London, Ontario, and surrounding area, I should tell you that I did not succeed in making it snow on Christmas Day.
You were up against some pretty tough opposition, Charlotte. It was like between like 4 and 10 degrees.
It was hot, yeah. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah, we didn't even have our fireplace on, which was sad.
Yeah, that's always nice.
Anyway, other than that, I thought it was a great Christmas.
It was a wonderful Christmas, and we hope, us at the Great Canadian Pod, hope you guys all had a great Christmas too. We're moving on. I think this is a good time to hear from our lady.
Let's bring her out.
You're listening to Dave and Charlotte's Great Canadian Podcast.
So,
Just a chance to groove in the middle of every podcast.
I'd like to segue into this little section of the podcast by explaining why I was a little bit late to Dave's house today.
Pretty soon we're going to get used to segueing without using the word segue.
I think we should announce it every time. Whoa, there's fish in the background.
Hey there.
A whole, like, swarm of them just came in.
Oh, a school, Charlotte.
A school. No, wait, maybe it's food. It's food. It's food.
Oh, this is like a... Oh. I was hoping this was some sort of real world aquarium.
No. 'Cause
Why
then
are
I
they
was gonna
feeding
say-
the CG fish?
Yeah.
Someone really went to a lot of work to
Makes no
reproduce something that they...
sense.
Hey, and the crab... Oh, there he is.
Oh, he moved. He moved to another rock.
Poor little guy still can't catch anything.
All right, this video's not awful. I'll give this I mean, they fed the fish. That's attention to detail.
I want to see them feed the crab. Go get him, buddy.
Eat one of those fish. Look, he's snapping at him still.
He's snapping at him. We can't get him.
So I haven't even told Dave this story yet. It's not even really a story, just that Dave called me before I left Mom and Dad's to head into London to do this podcast. Oh, because we didn't even say we're together yet again today.
We are together.
But for the last time, probably.
Right, for a while anyways. Until you're back next.
And we'll tell you why, because I'm still here for just under a week, but Dave will not be. But let's save that for
We'll
later
save
in the
that.
pod.
Yeah.
So he calls me at mom and dad's and says, "Can you pick up some kitty litter for this cat, Oliver?"
Because I am the quarterback and you are the lackey.
Right. That's true. I didn't think about that. And I was like, "Yeah, can I get you a coffee?" "What do you want, sir?"
She's a great lackey.
Yeah. So I went to PetSmart. Of course, got 2 steps in the door before I looked over at the adoption center and thought, I have to go in. And I do every single time I go to PetSmart.
Wait, there's a separate room at this PetSmart?
Have you never been to the cat adoption center?
No.
In the PetSmart?
Are you talking about the one on Wonderland?
No, by Masonville.
Oh.
Dave, so you don't go to the Masonville one?
I go to the Wonderland one.
I assume they've got an adoption center too, though.
They just have a couple of like cages next to the desk with beds in them. I usually look at the kitties in there.
Masonville, because there's a whole separate room, so you feel less stupid talking to the cat. Because I went in, and I do every single time I'm there. Because I used to go to that. That used to be my PetSmart.
Because you're a glutton for punishment.
Here's what I dubbed it love and heartbreak at PetSmart on our little sheet of things to talk about.
You
because
sure did.
I go in with the most positive of intentions. You know, I don't try to torture myself. I go in thinking like, oh, cute kitties. And even when I was like 20 feet away and I saw the room, because it's enclosed, like, there's a door, it's got a glass. And I thought, oh, I just saw one. I thought, oh my God, so cute. And so I go up and you walk in and a lot of them stay laying down, but there's always a couple that'll jump right up as soon as they see that you walked in. Are you dying over there, David?
Excuse me, listeners.
Yeah. I didn't want to keep on with my story in case people were like, man, Dave's dying and Charlotte's just telling your dumb cat story.
Just water down the wrong pipe. I'm good. All right.
But I go and I try to pet them. Oh my gosh. And I want them all. There's one in there who had 2 extra toes. One each on each of the front 2 paws, and they put that on the little card when they talk about it. And they're like, this one was found in a barn with 2 extra toes. This one was found on the side of the highway. Like, why do they? So then I pet them, and they're so cute, and some of them just start going mew mew mew.
Yeah.
And the best thing I think of going in to see the cats, not the best. The best is obviously petting the cats and thinking how cute they are. But then there's every single time there's always been another lady that comes in, and
Right.
it's best when they're ladies my age because we're sad, but they always come in and we kind of both look at each other sheepishly and kind of smile because we're like, oh, you're a crazy cat lady too, eh? And then we just kind of like pet the cats together. But then we give each other space. I usually leave when the next person comes in.
Sure.
Because I talk to the cats and go like, oh, you're so cute. Come over here. Aren't you adorable, Mittens? Mittens was the name of the cat with the extra toes.
Oh.
If I didn't already have a cat, I would have adopted Mittens easily. Anyway, then I leave her so she can talk to the cats also.
That's considerate of you.
I also leave, though, because at a certain point, the positivity and the warmth that you're getting from these cats turns into anguish because you can't bring them all home. And in fact, I can't bring any home. And then it starts to twist my heart, and I just finally can't take it anymore. And I kind of turn and like flee as I ugly cry out of the room.
Every time.
I don't actually ugly cry, but I do flee because it just hurts too much, and finally I can't take it anymore. It's
And
quite the roller coaster.
And the cycle continues.
And I do it every time. Because every time I forget about the anguish.
Because it's worth it
Yeah.
for it to pet the cute
yeah.
kittens.
Yeah.
And-
then I think
and let's
maybe I
face it,
lighten their day.
Give them a glimmer of hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Here's
Yeah.
someone who would adopt you.
Who would? Yeah. I actually found a cat that I think our aunt should adopt. And I tried calling her, but then it occurred to me she's working today.
Ah,
This little cat.
I'm
so
surprised
cute.
that stopped you.
Oh, I know. Then I didn't realize. I'm like, oh, she's not picking up. And then I realized she was at work.
Right.
But it was too late. I was already out of the room because another cat lady had come in.
Did you take a picture?
No, I didn't. I'm just going to tell her to go. I wish I could remember the name of the cat, too,
Yeah,
because it was
right.
a cute name. She won't.
No, she won't.
All right, let's talk about some professional things.
Okay.
As professional as this conversation's going to be.
Right,
You want to
yeah.
go first or you want me to?
I'll go first. Since you've been telling cat stories.
I've been droning on. And
There's
on.
not much to say. I've got a new website. I've been working on that over the last month.
Yeah, we brought that up in our last. I'm so impressed with us when we follow up on things we bring up on our last podcast.
Yeah.
I'll stop bringing it up, though.
Got some nice pictures taken. Like I was mentioning last week, I was using one of those do-it-yourself sites. So the website's done. It's up.
It's live.
It's live.
As they say.
You can go there. And it's really, I try to just keep it as simple as possible. There's like links to social media, like, SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter, and all that kind of stuff. And there's just a list of my shows, gallery of pictures. There's contact information. There's a couple, there's like my albums and stuff, audio blurbs, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't want it to be anything too hairy. Just regular, right? So it's done. That's a good feeling. And now the thing I like about that is that I can say, if people are wanting to hire me or whatever, I can say, go to my website, contact me there, instead of like, oh, find me on Facebook or don't type my name into iTunes. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
Sure.
the website is the hub.
Yeah.
You want the hub.
And you want to be able to Google your name and have it come up.
That's right.
And that was a big, I don't even know what the word is. It was a big problem in our household that if you Googled you, it wasn't coming up. And you said to our parents, don't worry, it will come up. You just have to give it like, a few days or whatever, a week, and it'll come up on when you Google it.
Right.
So what did our father do? But went on the computer. I don't know if you watched this happen, but he was doing it again this morning. Goes on probably twice a day and Googles you. And I hear him over at the computer. He's not talking to anyone. He's just announcing it out loud.
Right.
Oh, it's up there, but still not on the first page of hits. Okay, Dad. Like, I'm sure if you keep on clicking on it over and over again. But Dad's waiting for the day that's the first
That's the
hit
top
on
of the.
Google.
I think it just needs some more traffic, and then when you.
Dad's taking care of it.
Right.
Dad's on it.
That is my traffic.
Yeah. Dad's fun. Well, even when I posted a video with
You know,
kin
we're ruining
people-
my street cred
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. He doesn't. So Dad clicks on Dave's YouTube videos over and over trying to increase views,
Right.
but he doesn't realize. I think that the IP address. I think if you go on from the same IP address, doesn't add a hit.
Right.
And he did that when we posted a kin video. He's like, I'm going on all the computers I can to increase the number of views. I was like, thanks, Dad. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
Don't stop doing what you're doing, Dad.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, we do.
And he is otherwise a very sharp guy. Like, he's not. It's not senile old dad just hanging out at home.
I think this is just like a proud papa. Like,
I
look
think
at
so.
my kids on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in other professional news, the tribute band that I'm a part of, we're about to embark on a little tour this week.
Yeah.
Going to work, traveling, and doing the whole. Let's face it, it makes you feel like a rock star. You drive to the gig, set up, you play the gig, you tear it down, you go to the hotel, you sleep,
Yeah.
and then you do it all over again. It's
You are a rock star. You don't feel like a rock star. You are.
thank you.
right?
Yeah, sure.
I say to my friends, like, oh, I'm going to get together with my brother because as of tomorrow, he goes on tour. Like, I'm not even just saying that.
Yeah,
He's on tour.
on tour.
I don't get to see Dave because he's on tour. And they're like, wow, that's cool. I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm saying it like that. Because he's on tour. That's pretty cool.
It's cool. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And Dad kind of got me on to, because whenever I'd go home, he'd be like, Dave, have you checked out the rooms that you're playing? I've been on the website here and I looked at the room. It's awesome. And I was always like, no, I haven't checked it out, whatever. It's not that I'm like, oh, I don't do that, Dad. I'm too much of a rock star. But I just don't think to do it.
Sure.
But then on the holidays, we were looking at some of these websites and I was checking out the rooms and some of them look awesome.
Nice.
So cool. So yeah, there's going to be one where it's pretty much like a circle and we're kind of surrounded by people. Mind you, we tend to play to mostly audiences of the geriatric
I thought you meant
variety
your
in this band,
hotel rooms. And I was like, why is Dad looking at the hotel room where you're staying? That makes no sense.
Oh. More technical lingo, Charlotte.
Yeah.
I'm training her.
Okay.
I just taught Charlotte a little bit about recording 101 today and using like an interface and like a mic.
Yeah.
It's good times.
Phantom amp. Phantom
Phantom power.
power.
Phantom power.
And that is the power that powers your mic,
Got it.
which could cause an explosion.
Sort of. I used the word explosion and blow up a lot, but I meant them figuratively for the most part.
I think he was trying to scare me into not destroying his equipment, and it worked. I am scared.
Did it work, Charlotte?
Yes, it did.
I remember you trying to
Oh, yeah.
unplug the mic.
Never mind, didn't work. We should put like a big piece of red tape. Anyway, there's a lot to learn, guys.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
Or you'll blow something up and then you'll owe me a new interface.
Yeah.
Free
Oh,
interface
God.
for David.
Oh boy.
Don't worry, that one costs like $50. So that's my professional. You're caught up.
Can I ask questions though?
Sure.
First of all, what's it like being in a van on tour with your bandmates?
It's surprisingly tolerable.
Huh.
I don't know. What'd you think it'd be like?
Part of me pictures it being awesome.
It is awesome, frankly.
And like
yeah.
playing games and just like talking about life and having epic conversations. Part of me pictures it being horrible, cramped in with a lot of like stinky people.
It occurred to me that tolerable was a little bit of an understatement. I really do enjoy it. And that's the great thing about this band is that we all get along, too. So that helps a lot. but yeah, like I feel like you go in waves. Like you're all hanging out for like an hour and a half or so. You play games, you're talking, you're buddy and that stuff. And then everyone kind of retreats for another hour and a half sort of thing. Everyone lays down, tries to get some sleep, or I always bring a lot of podcasts, lots of music. I always bring a book. You know what I mean? So you just, as long as you're prepared, you're set. And I mean, we travel in a big van, so it's not like, we're not lying down on a tour bus or anything like that. It's just one of those big 12, 14-seater van type deals.
Yeah.
But, you get comfortable. You find a way to make it work. You take the shoes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope no one has smelly feet.
Which is, yeah.
We'll leave it there.
It's a concern.
Yeah.
It's something you watch out for.
And is it as cool? Do you have groupies?
Well, I made a comment earlier. I'm not sure if you caught it, but this band, it's the music of Wings and the Beatles. So our audiences tend to be a little older.
Uh-huh. That's not to say that your a little bit older audiences don't appreciate the band.
Oh.
As much as I hate to say that about my little brother, I bet that there are some ladies out there who are excited. Sure.
I think they're just thinking about the old days. They're just remembering the excitement.
No judgment. No judgy here.
And there has been. It's fun. Okay, it's fun to play for younger people, and it does happen. Not because of that, but because they have so much more energy, and I find they're so much more responsive. Not that the older crowds aren't, but they vibe with you, I feel like, in a different way.
Sure.
And there have been isolated incidents of groupiedom. There's one funny story. You know what? Let's come back to this.
On a future pod?
Yeah, on a future pod. We'll talk about...
Dave's groupie
We'll talk about groupies, because I got a couple funny stories.
Oh, God. This is... Sometimes people don't like being at Dave's show with me, because I get my head on a swivel and watch out for just, like, girls.
She's very protective.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can handle.
I know. That doesn't... I just get so upset. Not to change the topic, but the crab is now on the floor of the aquarium.
And still
around.
No luck for this poor little guy.
He's hungry. All right, quick tales from the world of academia.
Please. Okay, that's Dave's professional world, Charlotte's professional world.
And this isn't even like a story so much as I just would like to tell everyone that, yes, everyone in academia, we're all nerds. We're all nerds. And this came up the other day. Because I called someone a nerd, and they said, "You're a nerd, too. Like, you have your PhD." And I said, "Yes, but there's a difference between a nerd and a nerdy nerd."
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
This is going to blow up the email. All right, Charlotte, lay it on us.
Well, I just...
No. Don't let me stop you.
I feel like this isn't going to go over well, but you can be a researcher and get very excited about... And I'm sure it's like this with music, too. Get excited about music, get excited about research, get excited about science, and love doing that, but still be cool and still be able to talk about other things and enjoy other things and have other interests and be able to, like, I don't know if it's reined it in, because I get pretty excited about science. And
sure. We've all witnessed that. You'll probably witness it more as the podcast goes on.
Yeah. I just think there are some people who get excited about certain mundane aspects about research and or only ever want to talk about research. And this happened. So I was out for beers with two people who remain nameless. And it's Christmas, so we were all done. I was going to head home back to Ontario the next day. We're having beers, and didn't they go on for, I swear to God, 45 minutes about ways to test activation or deactivation of the sympathetic nervous system. And I finally just tuned out. Not even finally, I really just tuned out at the beginning and just started looking out the window. And I kept on going, guys, can we talk about something else? Like, this is the nerdiest thing ever. We're having our end of the semester beers.
Right.
Can we not talk about sympathetic activation and like methodologies to test it? Not even cool. Oh, God. It was a nightmare, and it was then that I was like, you guys are being nerdy nerds right now, and I do not appreciate it.
So let me follow up by saying, like, the sympathetic nervous system is something you've studied, yes? Okay, so it's something you're interested in and possess a great deal of knowledge about.
Sure.
But what they were talking about, was it just kind of semantics at that point? Or were they just getting so deep that you had kind of lost them? Like, describe your lack of interest in it. You would have just rather talked about other things?
Yeah, this guy, the one guy was talking about a study he was going to do in the future.
Right.
And someone had suggested that he control for the sympathetic nervous system by including a method that's going to activate and then deactivate the sympathetic nervous system. And he said, what do you guys think? Because this guy isn't huge into the sympathetic nervous system. It's not his area of expertise. This guy's a cancer researcher.
Okay.
And so he was asking me and the other guy what we would do if we were to design his study. And this is a very interesting topic of conversation to have at a lab meeting over coffee at 9 a.m. or something like that. Or to have at any point during the workday. This is the kind of thing that you would set up a meeting and you would sit around and talk about it. And it'd be a very interesting meeting. I would participate in it fully. I would enjoy this meeting.
Yeah.
But it is not the middle of the workday. It is 5 p.m. on a Monday at the end. This is the thing that really got me. We're on Christmas holidays now, boys. And it's not like I don't want to talk about the sympathetic nervous system throughout my holidays. But you know what? I kind of don't want to talk about the sympathetic nervous system over the holidays. I want to booze.
Yeah.
I want to eat.
Booze being a verb.
Yeah. I want to eat food. I want to hang out. I want to talk about other things.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and without casting too much judgment on these guys, I don't know them. You have other things to talk about.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas,
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I'm not forcing that stereotype on them like, oh, nerds, they don't have any lives. They live in the lab. Because that's not true in all cases. I'm sure it's sometimes true. But
Yeah.
is that true with these guys, do you think?
No. I mean, and I know they have other, and they're going to know who they are too if they listen to this. So.
Hey, fellas.
yeah.
I'm glad I don't have to meet you anytime soon. I'm sure you're lovely.
No, and the one guy's my defense partner, and we play on the same hockey team.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
really? You play
yeah.
co-ed hockey?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
So, I mean, there's other interest there, but I just think you got to be able to put a lid on it at some point. And I had made a couple requests that we change the topic, and they just kept going. They kept moving, like, keep a couple more minutes, and
yeah,
it never happened.
Well, to that, like, I do feel like, again, I denied being a tech guy last week, and you said I was, but I from where I stand and kind of the music techie realm, like, I'm very much a less techie guy, I think. Like, the other guitar player in the band I'm in, he knows a lot. He's so, like, curious about his stuff. I think it's so cool about, like, wiring. He'll mess around with, like, the wiring on his guitars, and he, like, does a lot of stuff to his own. I have a guy that I take my guitars to. I'd be like, I want them to go about 100 miles an hour. Can you do that for me? And he'd be like, sure. And sometimes he'll even explain it to me. Sometimes I listen and sometimes I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, there's probably going to come a time where I'm interested in that stuff. When it comes to recording software, like I went on my big tirade last week, I just want to use this stuff. And often some of the other guys in the band will be like, oh, this new thing's coming out and you can use this. And they tend to get into it. And I can't really keep up with them. So, like, I try to listen and get what I can. But at the same time, I understand that they're maybe more interested in some of the technical aspects. And so I just...
Sure.
It's sometimes you do end up tuning out.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's probably people in the audience right now that are saying, well, you should listen.
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
you learn something.
You learn something, yeah.
You try.
Yeah.
You try.
And maybe these guys are better
Sometimes you can.
researchers for it. God knows. But you know what?
I think it takes all kinds, Charlotte.
Yeah.
It takes all kinds,
Yeah. I'm happy with the kind of researcher I am.
I am happy with the kind of musician I am.
Nice.
Look at us all happy with ourselves.
And on that note, should we bring out our girl again?
Let's do it.
You're listening to Dave and Charlotte's Great Canadian Podcast.
Smooth sounds. KBBL. We are not a radio station.
Note that once again, I let Dave do the lead back in. I just sit here like a bump in a log, waiting. If he never led back in, we would just never come back.
You may... It sounds good to you guys, but when we recorded that, I just waited an indeterminate amount of time. I didn't count to 10 Mississippis in my head. And I'm just going to push it back and find that pocket until it sounds perfect. I'm going to adjust the fades. Listen to me ruining all my radio magic. If I had the equipment, I'd do it live.
Huh.
But until I can afford, like a $20,000 operating board. Maybe not 20,000. I could probably get a cheap one. But then you have a cheap one. I don't know if
Right.
yeah.
And who wants that?
Who wants that?
Okay, guys. Now we're going to follow up yet again from last week's podcast. But I think this time it's worth bringing up that we're following up because we brought up that might be a good time. We're probably a month late, but to do a recap of the fall. What do we love about fall? What do we hate about fall? And I thought also a winter halfway check-in. How's winter going? What do we think is going to happen for the rest of the winter? What are our thoughts on the winter?
Are we halfway?
I like to think so, but probably not. Maybe because in Edmonton it started at Halloween.
Oh,
But that also presumes it ends at the end of February, and I don't think that's accurate.
Right. I forgot you guys have, like, mostly winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have real winter. Like
Winter,
real
winter.
hardcore winter.
Yeah.
Which, again, Ontario gets real winter, but not right now.
Not right now.
This is...
Not this year.
This is winter.
Yeah. This is winter. So, okay, so fall recap. Let's start with the fall recap.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite fall things? Charlotte,
Well,
go.
I do like... Maybe this is more of a winter thing, but there gets to be the smell in the air of crispness. When the breezes start coming in and you walk out and you... At this point, you're definitely wearing a jacket. So maybe this is the transition from fall to winter more so than summer to fall.
Right.
But I do like that. I feel like you can just smell it in the air. It smells to me a little bit like Zamboni, which doesn't make sense because I think Zamboni smells like diesel. And why would the air just smell like diesel around me? That makes no sense. But I just like the smell. If you watch Gilmore Girls, which I was just on a huge Gilmore Girls tear recently,
Interesting.
Lorelai can smell the snow. And every time, at the beginning of every winter, when she smells the snow, she goes crazy. And at one point she goes out in the middle of the night, and Luke, who she's dating at the time, goes out in the street with her, which I thought, that man, I can't believe you guys break up after this, because he went out in the snow with you in the middle of the night, and I know no man that ever would have done that. They all would have been like, you're an idiot. I'm staying in bed.
Charlotte, I'm not doing my homework and watching Gilmore Girls for next week.
No, that's okay. You'd have to watch so much of it for it to be poignant. It's such a good show, though. Anyway, so I like the smell of the air. You go.
On the subject of smell, that's always my spring indicator. The spring smell, like that
agreed.
first day when you get that spring breeze.
Yeah.
I always notice that, I find. And I do notice the smell in the fall. You know what I notice? Is the smell of the heat being on the house.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And just that feeling, that's
Yeah,
like when
that's
you're
nice.
outside and you walk back into the house, you're like, whoa. So this is happening
comes
now.
the fall.
Yeah. So that's kind of the smell that I
Yeah.
will latch on to.
Clothing. Love fall clothing.
Fall
with one
clothing's
small
great.
caveat. But I love a good jacket. I'd say my favorite weather all around is weather that you can wear shorts and a t-shirt with a light sweater over top that comes on and off throughout the day, during the day. And then at night, you need pants and a sweater or pants and a jacket. That's my favorite weather.
You want to live in California.
Yeah, but I also like the winter. But I think in terms of my perfect day,
Right.
because our mom lived in Australia for a couple of years, and she said the summer's all well and good, but it's not as wonderful without the winter there to sort of
Right.
contrast it to. So I think I wouldn't enjoy that weather as much if I just had it all the time.
Yeah.
But I do love being able to put on, I think just the look of a t-shirt, jeans, and a jacket is probably my favorite outfit.
That's a great look.
Right?
That's a fast look.
Yeah.
You know?
And you look good. You
Yeah.
get a nice jacket, you look good.
You do.
Hair up, hair down. You don't have to wear it up, which you do sometimes in the heat of the summer, because it's too hot for your hair to be down.
I hear that, sister.
Right? Dave used to have long hair. He knows.
Yeah, I guess this is true.
Yeah.
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 And I like the detachable layers thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got the jacket a little hot, take the jacket off.
Yeah.
Now you've got a jacket on a chair. Now your chair is spoken for.
Yes,
You got a
great
classy
point.
looking chair.
On the note of chairs in the summertime, something I don't like about the summer, wearing shorts and sticking to the chair.
Yes. That's that humid Canadian
Oh,
summer. I don't think you're going to have to put up with that this coming summer, Charlotte.
In Edmonton, maybe not. But maybe it's just like scalding hot with the sun because of all that sunshine.
But I feel like if it's a dry heat, you're always going to get that breeze, or you can always just kind of walk into the shade and you'll have it made
Yeah, maybe.
in the shade. Charlotte, there's something a little bit, dare I say, divisive that you want to discuss that's popular in the fall. And I've seen this I saw this topic last week, and I got to tell you, I'm going to fight you on this.
Oh, no, don't fight me on this.
I'm going to fight you on this. I can't let you just... I'm not even doing it just to be devil's advocate. I'm not that guy. But
Yeah.
I happen to like what you're about to
Get
tell.
out.
Yeah, I do.
I thought that it was universally acknowledged that it is annoying as hell when pumpkin spice permeates our lives
Pumpkin spice.
in the fall. Oh my god. I feel like this year it went way over anything that has ever happened in any previous fall. It was everywhere.
What is it that bothers you about it?
Because get another flavor, people. Like pumpkins. This is not like fall.
But it's the time of year where it's an excuse to enjoy it.
Do we need an excuse to enjoy pumpkin spice?
No, we don't. You can have it any time of year, but it's like seasonal. Like October is pumpkin month, and to some extent September and maybe the start of November, where you have like, you corn stalks and gourds all around the house. It just kind of fits the motif. Pumpkin spice. I will say that I've had pumpkin spice beers that I don't enjoy, but that's because I'm a beer snob, and I don't think those taste really...
It's just taking it too far. I feel like there was pumpkin spice everything this year. I should have come armed with examples. But like, on Pinterest, all you see is pumpkin spice cookie, pumpkin spice cakes. Like there's a pumpkin pie. Let's just eat pumpkin pie. Why do we need it in everything?
I haven't even eaten any pumpkin pie this season.
Get out.
What is wrong with me?
I just think it's too much. It's too pumpkin spice candles. Just bake a pumpkin pie.
It's too much. Charlotte, I know you. Are there people out there whose love of pumpkin spice is getting under your skin?
Yes, of course there are. And
Yeah.
it's the people that call it PSL.
Oh, that's a thing? Oh, that's no good.
They put it on Facebook and they hashtag PSL with pictures of their pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks.
Okay. This might seem close-minded of me, but I don't like... God, now it's one of those podcasts.
Yeah.
And you know what else? And this? I think I just peaked. I think I pulled a Charlotte. I'm sorry,
Wow,
everybody.
he was leaning away from the mic, to be fair.
Yeah. I feel like I don't like these acronyms that just seem to pop up and that are presumed to be known by all.
Yeah.
My least favorite one is what is it? PDA. How all of a sudden everyone just
Like
knew
public display of affection.
public displays of affection. How all of a sudden everyone knew what it was and had very strong opinions about it. This is what
Yeah,
bothers me, and
yeah.
it becomes like this sort of polarizing issue.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, you PDA? No, I think PDA is so. It's
Yeah.
not just like,
Yeah.
I kissed my girlfriend in public
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
I just think PDA is the stupidest acronym of all time. Please feel free to write and fight me on this. I just,
Yeah. People also, I feel like this was another thing that happened in the fall, was people got very polarizing opinions on catcalls all of a sudden. And maybe this is because I'm all over BuzzFeed, and there were a whole bunch of BuzzFeed things about this. There were articles, there were videos, but on how it feels to be a woman being catcalled. And
as a woman, well, I mean, there's been a lot of that in the news, right? Like, there's been the Bill Cosby thing.
Yeah.
Gian Gomeshi,
Yeah.
of course, there was that.
But that's different, I think, because obviously I would not like to be physically... I think that, I guess people are classifying catcalling as sexual harassment.
Right.
Whereas I just really don't care. It doesn't bother me, and it doesn't really flatter me. I just kind of...
So at the risk of starting a firestorm
I usually
here,
just assume they're not talking to me, frankly. That's my usual approach. I'm just like, whoever they're talking to.
must be somebody pretty, right?
Yeah, maybe that's why.
what do you think of, okay, so that video of
Yeah.
that woman walking through New York for however long
I
it
didn't
was.
see that.
There was, I think part of why it probably came up was there was this video that a woman posted of her walking in New York City for such and such amount of time, and there was just I didn't actually watch it either. There's a bunch of like captions under about all the things people were saying to her. So I mean, you can picture what I'm talking about, right? Like, and you say they don't bother you.
Yeah, and maybe
I'm not trying to prod you
Canadians
either, like-
are very. Maybe it doesn't happen as much here because we're polite. I don't know. The only times I can think about being catcalled is walking up and down the Strip in Grand Bend,
Right.
or up and down Richmond Row in London. You know, like out in front of Barney's or whatever, or people driving by and all you hear is like, "Meow." You're like, okay, I'm guessing you were saying something. I don't really know what it was.
Right.
But again, I don't have strong feelings. And it's not even like I judge people who do have strong feelings. And I imagine too that it gets pretty horrible, and probably women start to feel unsafe too at a certain point, because I think most of my experience is someone's hollering something from far away.
Right.
And so And, you know, I live in London, Ontario. Like, how scary. I mean,
Right.
I guess knock on wood, but how scary is that? It's not
Right.
a very scary city. But
Not that we're trying to diminish, mind you, any of the real life cases.
for sure,
what
for sure.
happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. I think if you felt physically threatened or even, you know, like emotionally threatened, then that is a whole nother ball of wax.
Right.
But I just never felt like there was any real threat. I just felt like these were college boys going, hey, baby, nice tits, or something like that. This is what I imagine catcalling to be.
And oh my God, as a guy, I feel like I'm not qualified to comment, and I'm certainly not on what it is to be a girl receiving. But like, how do you think it's gonna work?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand how people, like, why they would bother to say something like that at all. What they think the end game is. There's obviously Jerry Seinfeld's
Yeah, I
meme
was
that
just
it
laughing
comes
at
to
that.
mind.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I don't feel strongly about it, because it's all Jerry Seinfeld to me, who he says, like, this is the last surviving brain cell in this guy, because what do you expect the girl to do? Kick off her shoes and run after you and cling onto the bumper.
Right.
And when it finally comes to a stop sign, go, I'm so glad you yelled.
It's a
I
good-
didn't know how you felt.
That's a good thing you hung.
Yeah. It's a good thing you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I may comment,
Yeah.
again, not trying to say that I face the same issues as women being catcalled, because I think it's certainly different for guys and girls. Not the least reason of which is because, you know, we traditionally have different physiques and there are different threats
Sure.
present, whatever. But as a musician, you do get like the girls, right? Who come up and hey, oh, you play guitar and
Picture me across the bar, just jaw clenched, fist clenched, like, oh, I will. Anyway, go ahead, continue.
and I'm not trying to like toot my own horn. Oh, this happens all the time, you know, but it doesn't, mind you. But I think what I do is I consider the source. Like, first off, usually these girls are drunk.
That's the thing, and they're harmless, which again, we are not commenting on.
They are not harmless.
Oh, no,
The threat, okay, the single greatest fear that I face from these girls, very minute when compared to is that I'm always just afraid that they're going to bump into my mic stand and my microphone is going to hit me in the teeth. This is one of the single greatest fears of my life, is taking a mic to the teeth and getting a chipped tooth. And because I've taken mics to the teeth before, I
out.
haven't had a chipped tooth yet, which is
Oh no.
knocked on wood again, but it happens. That's all I care about. When girls are up there dancing, I just think as long as we have enough space to perform, knock yourself out. Like, I don't care. And
You need to construct something, some sort of,
some
I
sort
don't
of
even know.
barricade.
Yeah, like put some foam up there so it's gonna bounce off your nose or something before it hits you in the teeth.
Yeah.
This could be a thing, because you can't be the only musician suffering from this.
You could, what, like a company like, I don't know, it makes stage gear or something.
Yeah.
The barricade.
We should stop talking because people are gonna steal our idea.
I think they'd be laughed out of forums everywhere, because there'd just be so many people just being like, what, you don't like it when ladies come up to the stage?
But
Sure you don't.
speaking as a girl who has had a few cocktails in her lifetime and gets a little wobbly, you add in high heels and dancing, and that's a very real threat, is that I'm very clumsy. I spilled it. I wasn't even drunk, and I spilled a drink in the bar the other night. I was dead sober.
Huh.
And I was just talking.
Wait,
and
what were you drinking?
Knocked over beer.
Oh.
And but I wasn't drunk. or
Right,
anything.
okay.
I knocked it over, and the girls had to get me. I knocked it all over my clutch.
Oh,
The
no.
girls had to get me napkins.
It happens.
Yeah.
The good advice I got, by the way, was I used to set up my mic stand directly in front of me, and now I set it on to the side of me and I angle it up. So that way, if it gets bumped, there's, I guess, less of a chance.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just like
That was
when
good
you're
advice.
in driver's ed, when you're in an intersection turning left,
Right.
you're supposed to point your wheels straight forward, so if you get rear-ended, you don't fly into the oncoming traffic.
That's right.
Right? Same thing.
right. And I remember that, because I think the same thing, yeah.
I remember it too. Okay, really quickly, let's talk about winter. How's your winter going?
How did we get into that from pumpkin
Yeah,
spice?
let's not try to. Sometimes I try to leave breadcrumbs in my head so we can try to get back to what we were discussing, but I
Right.
just let it all go. We're off.
And
Oh,
we're-
divisive issues. This is what it was.
Ah.
Divisive issues. Pumpkin spice led to PDAs, led to catcalling.
Catcalling. All right, and we're back.
And we're back.
We recapped.
So
Winter.
winter.
Well, I mean, in Ontario, we haven't had much of a winter yet.
Yeah.
So when I see the snow, I'm sort of just like, oh, come on. But I understand that it's coming. And it's fine. You just have to wear warm stuff. You have to clear your car off, shovel the driveway, all that good stuff. Drive carefully. Please drive carefully, everybody. And
drive like an idiot.
I got some good boots.
Do you have your snow tires on?
I do.
Ooh, nice one. But this is the time of year where I usually don't have my snow tires on.
Charlotte.
And I go, we're halfway through. Why would I put them on now? I've survived to this point. I put them on probably once every 3 seasons.
Charlotte.
Every 3 is not seasons, but every 3 winters. It's bad.
You disgust me.
There's certain things that don't go into my brain.
Right.
Money matters of money. And winter tires is right up there. I just don't think about it.
I had one bad experience, which it wasn't. Luckily, nothing happened. But it was when the snow was falling last year, and I was driving home from work, and I didn't have my winter tires on yet, and I seriously had nothing. I just hit the brakes, and I'd go for a slide.
That's
and I was
scary.
like, "This is crazy."
Yeah.
So yeah, and then when the snow tires went on, that stopped. So that was.
Yeah.
I hope that sticks with me forever, because
That's fair.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Get your snow tires put on. We're gonna check in with.
I don't
that
even have my snow tires
next
though in Edmonton.
Podcast. Well, you should probably see if you can fit them in your luggage.
And then someone made the mistake of telling me that they don't ever put snow tires on because I live, and this is for me too. I live close to a grocery store. I live close to campus. I really have no need to drive anywhere. So he said, "Yeah, I don't put snow tires on. I just don't drive anywhere." And he lives really close to the train,
Okay. That I get.
the LRT.
Yeah.
So I could probably get most places without snow tires. And then you have to make other people drive you, which Sydney, I'm sure, and Aaron are going, "Oh God, yeah, I hate that."
Which is appealing.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Yeah. I'm sorry too. You see, I'm trying to fight the good fight here, Sydney
Yeah.
and Aaron.
And it's not working out. No. This is like Dad who tries to make me financially responsible and it just doesn't work. Sorry.
It's getting about time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thoughts
Ooh,
on New Year's?
Yeah, I was going to say. So, New Year's I used to not enjoy. I feel like that's a pretty typical thing because there's always so much build up and what are you going to do for New Year's? And all of a sudden you realize you have no New Year's plans and
It's
oh my God.
expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive, yeah. Worst New Year's I spent puking my guts out, but in a way it was a relief because I just got to stay home and puke my guts out.
Not bad.
No pressure.
What, you just get, have some drinks super early? And
No,
then...
no, I was just sick. It was
Oh.
terrible. I was home with Mom and Dad and we called the, the Ontario helpline thing that,
Because it was that bad.
yeah, it was that bad. I just couldn't stop. Every 15 minutes I was puking. And that is why I couldn't eat fruit-flavored Tums for about, 10 years. Because they gave me Tums because it was like burning my throat because I was puking so much.
Oh.
But then I would puke up the Tums 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
And it was horrible.
Right, because you should take that stuff with a full stomach.
I really still can't. I eat minty Tums instead because it just reminds me. However, starting last year with a group of friends who we are all in the same lab together through our... Sorry. Dave's being ridiculous over there. We all did our master's and PhD together. Chantel, Tori, and Nicole. Hi, ladies.
Hi, ladies.
We have a standing appointment and we do Canada Day together and New Year's together every year.
So this is going to become a traditional...
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's nice because now Tori's in Montreal, Chantel's in Toronto, I'm in Edmonton, Nicole's in London, and so it's hard to get together. I mean, we don't really get together. And so we have these standing appointments on holidays where we're usually all coming home
Perfect.
to the same areas. And so we just go out to the family chalet and we skate on the pond and we go sledding and we play Axis and Allies.
Yeah.
Because Tori's boyfriend is big into Axis. And actually, I shouldn't even send him out. He was into Axis and Allies, and then he turned all of us into Axis and Allies monsters.
Jan, I still owe you, a full game of Axis and
Yeah.
Allies. That
Are
has
you
to
jealous
happen
that that's what
sometime.
we're going to do and you're not going to be there?
Absolutely. Yeah. Even me and my roommates will play that sometime.
What a
And
game.
we had one bad egg in the bunch who wasn't enjoying himself.
Yeah.
God forbid. And we never finished that game.
2 New Year's ago, before we started this tradition, I was up in Montreal with them, and we started playing Axis and Allies, and we almost missed New Year's. It was 11:30. We were all in pajamas, still around playing Axis and Allies, and
Yeah.
finally we said, "This cannot be the story that we tell." When people ask, "What did you do for New Year's?" and we said we stayed in pajamas and played Axis and Allies. So finally, we got ourselves together and got to a bar.
I, for one, have no problem with that story.
So what are your New Year's plans or New Year's thoughts, Davo?
The aforementioned tour. We're going to be playing some shows for New Year's, and then the following weekend we're going to be in New Jersey We're going to do 2 shows on New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to be, by the time we're torn down, it will be time for the countdown.
Listen to you.
And then we're going to spend most of the next day on the road, and then we got 3 shows in the weekend. So it's going to be, usually the last couple of years I've spent New Year's in a bar playing, which is good because you get paid well.
Right.
So I pretty much always work on New Year's.
The life of the musician. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a night where you make money where you'd otherwise be spending a lot of it. You know?
And you make other people's New Year's fun.
Sure.
Because there's going to be a person that says, what'd you do for New Year's? I was at this bar and this great band was playing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
You're now part of that person's memories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next day, you just have your own New Year's with your friends.
Yeah.
Because you all want to have a New Year's still. So you're like, let's party the day after when no one else is partying, when everyone else is home nursing themselves.
No cover charge the next night.
No coverage. It's a beautiful thing, Charlotte.
Way less hassle for the cabs. Ugh, what a nightmare. You know you're 30 when you're like, I'm not going downtown. It's so expensive. I have to pay so much for drinks. You're never going to get a cab. I'm old. I don't know when I got this old.
It's the Great Canadian Podcast. Thanks for joining us for episode 2.
Yeah. And next time you hear from us, we'll be talking cross country.
Talking cross country, but it should sound
Oh, yeah.
pretty similar to how it's sounding now.
We're getting pretty official.
I'm getting
I
pretty
have
high tech here.
An M, not an M box. I have
It's an M track.
an M track
M track.
and my own mic.
Mm-hmm.
They're all Dave's. But I'm going to sound good.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We were gonna go back to doing it with little headset mics.
Yeah.
And now we don't have to.
And we're aiming to have our first guest appearance on the podcast next week.
We've got a lot of guests lined up already.
Yeah, because we have a lot of stories we need to talk about. I feel like I want to give them just a little teaser for what we want to talk. We'll leave the guest open, but the topic is cat herpes. Gasp.
That's a thing.
Apparently it's a thing.
Apparently it's a thing.
We'll have to do some research before our next podcast to verify this, to make sure no one was just pulling this person's leg.
For all your feedback, compliments,
GreatCanadianPod@gmail.com.
suggestions, anything like that. Yeah, please.
Corrections. You want to comment on our issues that we discussed? Catcalling. Got some feelings about it? PDAs?
Please do.
Pumpkin spice lattes?
PSLs.
And we can maybe have a reader mail section of each pod.
That'd be awesome.
Right?
Get at us, greatcanadianpod@gmail.com.
And we still don't have a Twitter account, but it's coming, guys. Promise. One of these days.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Happy New Year.
It's the Great Canadian Podcast with Dave and Charlotte.